Hello students, today we are studying sexual reproduction in flowering plant. Flower is a reproductive organ of a plant. In flower, there are four whorls situated on the thalamus. This is thalamus. And the first whorl, which is green, it is called calyx. Calyx. And the one part of the calyx is called sepal. The second word is corolla. Corolla, and the one part is called petal. Third one word is stamen. Stamen, and the complete word called androecium. This complete word called androecium. And the one part of this word is called stamen. Stamen divided into three parts: anther, connective between the anther, and filament. This is called filament. This is filament. And these are anthers, and together called stamen. The fourth one whorl is gynoecium. Gynoecium, it is a female reproductive part, and the stamen is the androecium whorl is a male reproductive part of the flower. This one is gynoecium. Gynoecium. And the one part of the gynoecium called pistil. Pistil consists of three parts: ovary, style, and stigma. This one is stigma, this is style, the tube-like structure, and the ovary. This is ovary. Ovary consists of ovules. Okay. Flower that contain both of the, it means androecium and gynoecium. Both are the gametes present in flower, then the flower called bisexual. If one of them, gynoecium or androecium, if one of them is present, then the flower called unisexual. Androecium contains anthers. Inside the anther there are pollen grains. It also called male gametes. And the ovule inside the ovary is called female gametes or egg. Example of bisexual flower are hibiscus, mustard, etc. And unisexual flower like papaya, watermelons, etc. Pistil, also called carpel. carpel. And when the development of pollen grain is completed, anther walls get ruptured and the pollen grains are free in the environment. And these pollen grains transfer by some agent like wind, water, animal to the stigma. If the pollen grain if the pollen grains transfer stigma on the same flower, this is called self-pollination. And if these pollen grains transfer to stigma of another flower, the pollination called cross pollination. After the pollination, pollen grain are stick to the stigma, and this is pollen grain, this one is stigma. Stigma contains slightly sticky material and pollen grain stick to the stigma. After that, pollen grain develop a tube-like structure called pollen tube. This tube goes to the ovule. This one is ovule. Ovule has two parts. This one is micropylar end. Micropylar end. And from the micropylar end, the tube enters in the ovule, and this one is germ cell. Now what happens after the fertilization? Number 1, zygote divided several times to form an embryo within the ovule. Second one, the ovule develops a tough coat and it's gradually converted into a seed. Third one, the ovary grows rapidly and ripen to form a fruit. Meanwhile, the petals, the sepal, stamens, style, and stigma may shrivel and fall off. This is the complete process. And the seed contains the future plant, embryo which develop into the seedling under appropriate condition. This process is known as germination. Seed contains two parts. This one is plumule, which develop into the shoot, and this is radicle. In future, radicle make roots. Seed contain also cotyledon. If seed contain one cotyledon, then the plant is monocotyledon. And if seed contain two cotyledon, then the plant said to be dicotyledon. Our next topic is reproduction in human beings. Human use a sexual mode of reproduction. It needs sexual maturation, which includes creation of germ cells, that is egg, in the female and sperm in the male partner. And this period of sexual maturation is called puberty. Human beings have a well developed male and female reproductive system. Now, what about male reproductive system? This is diagram of male reproductive system. The formation of male germ cells, sperm, takes place in the testes. Actually, a pair of testes are located inside scrotum, inside the scrotum, and it means to keep relatively low temperature needed for the production of sperm. Scrotum is situated outside the body and the temperature 2 degree low than the body temperature. Moreover, testes release a male sex hormone called testosterone. The function of testosterone is regulate the production of sperm and bring about changes in appearance seen in the boys at the time of puberty. The sperm, which is male germ cells, along with the secretion of prostate glands, these are prostate glands, and seminal vesicle, this one is seminal vesicles, together constitute semen, which is released and made to enter into the female genital tract during copulation. Now the female reproductive system. What about the female reproductive system? This is diagram. A female germ cells or eggs are made in the ovaries. These are the ovaries, one pair of ovary, correct? When girl is born, the ovary already contains thousands of immature eggs. At the puberty, some of these eggs start maturing. One egg is produced every month by one of the ovaries. The eggs is carried from the ovary by fallopian tubes. This is fallopian tubes, which united to form elastic bag-like structure called uterus. The uterus open into vagina through the cervix. This is cervix. Uterus open through the cervix into vagina. Fertilization occur in the fallopian tubes. This is fallopian tubes, and the fertilization occur here. The fertilized egg, also called zygote. Zygote means two N form. Sperm N, it means haploid form. Egg N, also haploid form. And after the fusion, zygote is formed, which is 2N. It means diploid form. This is zygote or fertilized egg. Gets implanted in the linings of the uterus and start dividing. Actually, uterus is richly supplied with blood to nourish the growing embryo for the nourishment. If zygote is not formed, the inner wall of uterus breaks, which cause bleeding through vagina. Which cause bleeding through vagina. This process is called menstruation. It occurs at a regular interval of 28 days. The embryo gets nutrition from the mother's blood with the help of a special tissue called placenta. Here, it provides a large surface area for glucose and oxygen to pass from the mother to the embryo. Similarly, the wastage from the developing embryo are removed to the mother's blood through the placenta. The child is born as a result of rhythmic contraction of the muscle in the uterus. This period is gestation period, and the gestation period of human is 9 months or 36 weeks. The sexual cycle of a woman continue up to 45 to 50 years. After that, the ovary do not release egg. This stage is called menopause. It is also marks the end of the menstruation in the woman. 45 to 50 year. Now what about the reproductive health? Reproductive health means total well-being in all aspects of reproduction, like physical, emotional, social, and behavioral. Now, what of the contraception? I want to explain you in brief. Methods of contraception. Now, what about contraception? It is the avoidance of pregnancy. It can be achieved by some methods. Methods of contraception. You can divide into three part. Physical barrier, surgical methods, and third one, chemical methods. What are physical methods or physical barrier? To prevent union of or fusion of sperm and egg cell. Use of condom, you can write here condom, diaphragm, and cervical caps. Third one is cervical caps. These three are physical barrier. Now surgical method, these are also three. Vasectomy, what about vasectomy? Vas deferens of male is blocked to prevent sperm transfer. Number one, vasectomy. Number 2, tubectomy. What about this? Fallopian tubes of female is blocked, tubectomy. And the third one is copper T or loop. We can write here also, loop, placed in the uterus to prevent pregnancy. Okay. And the third, chemical methods. Chemical method like oral contraceptive, you can write here oral contraceptive. By the hormonal balance change, oral contraceptive changes the balance of hormones. Okay. And what about more diseases? There are two types of diseases: sexually transmitted disease, STDs. Number 1, viral STDs. Viral like HIV, called HIV, AIDS, warts also. And bacterial, second one is bacterial STDs, sexually transmitted disease. Example, syphilis, and gonorrhea also, gonorrhea. STD communicated during unsafe sexual contact. This is all about the sexual health.